In a distant corner of the galaxy, a small human exploration ship drifted through the cold emptiness of space. Its hull, scarred from years of travel, reflected the pale light of a nearby star. Commander Elias Ford, the last surviving member of his crew, stared out at the endless black. Earth had been lost long ago, swallowed by a war it never chose. He was alone except for the ship's AI, Luma, whose calm voice filled the quiet cabin. "Commander, our energy reserves are low. We need to find a planet to rest," Luma said. Elias nodded, though he knew the odds were slim. Life in this sector of space was rare. Still, something deep inside told him that hope could still exist. He adjusted the ship's course toward a faint signal Luma had picked up, a signal unlike any human-made transmission. After hours of travel, the ship descended into the atmosphere of a lush green planet. Towering forests stretched as far as Elias could see, and massive mountains rose like ancient guardians. Birds, or something like birds, soared above the trees, glowing faintly in colors he had never seen. He felt a shiver of awe and fear. "Luma, scan the signal's origin," Elias commanded. "Signal source detected. Approximately 20 kilometers northeast, deep within the Central Valley," Luma responded. Elias donned his exploration suit and prepared to descend. The valley below was alive with strange humming energy. As he approached, the forest opened into a clearing unlike anything he had seen before. There, standing at the edge of a sparkling lake, were figures that took his breath away. They were women, but unlike any humans he had ever known. Towering at nearly 3 meters tall, their presence was majestic. Their hair shimmered like silver streams, and their eyes glowed with an inner light. Their movements were graceful, almost like the wind bending the trees. Elias could feel the weight of their gaze, not threatening but curious and intelligent. One stepped forward. Her voice was soft, yet carried across the clearing like a song. "Welcome, traveler. We have been waiting for you." Elias froze, unsure how to respond. He had expected many things in his travels, but not this. I am Elias Ford, from the Lost Earth. Who are you?" "We are the Ilvaris," she said, her eyes warm. "We have watched your kind for many cycles. We have waited for a human to come to us, one brave enough to survive the void alone." Elias felt a strange mix of fear and relief. After so many years of wandering, he was finally in contact with life, intelligent life. Why me?" he asked. The Ilvaris queen, the tallest among them, stepped forward. "Because humanity's spirit is strong, even in its last survivor. We need your courage, your ingenuity. Our world is vast and beautiful, yet we lack one element you alone can bring. We need to learn from you. We need to understand your ways, your history, your essence." Elias swallowed hard. He had always known that humans were special, not because of strength or size, but because of curiosity, creativity, and the ability to endure against impossible odds. Could it be that these giants had been waiting for someone like him? Over the next hours, the Ilvaris led him to their village, a collection of enormous structures built seamlessly with nature. Houses grew out of massive trees, bridges spanned waterfalls, and lights glimmered from the canopies. The giants moved as if in harmony with the land, showing Elias a society built on wisdom and patience. Despite their size, they treated him gently. When he stumbled or dropped something, their massive hands caught it carefully, with a gentleness that surprised him. He began to see that strength did not always mean dominance. It could mean protection, care, and guidance. As evening fell, Elias sat by the lake with the queen. The sun, or what he assumed was a sun, cast golden light across the water. The Ilvaris spoke of the galaxy's history, their ancestors, and their mission. "We have seen civilizations rise and fall," the queen said. "We have guided life where we could, but few species have left a mark like humans. You possess something rare, something that can change the balance of worlds." Elias listened, captivated. I don't know if I'm capable," he admitted. "I'm just one man, My people, they're gone. No, she replied gently. You are more than one. You are a symbol. You carry the hope of a species that refuses to fade quietly. And we offer you a choice. To share your knowledge, your heart, your courage with us. To become part of something larger than yourself. Elias looked around the serene valley. He could see the wisdom in their eyes, the patience in their gestures, the depth of their world. For the first time in decades, he felt the weight of loneliness lift slightly. Perhaps this was the new purpose he had been seeking. That night he slept under a canopy of glowing leaves, the stars above clearer than any he had seen. In dreams, he felt himself walking among the Ilvaris, learning their ways, growing stronger not in muscle but in spirit. Something had shifted. Humanity's last hope was no longer just survival. It was connection, understanding, and the potential to influence a world far greater than he had imagined. The next morning, Elias awoke to the sound of laughter, giant, melodic, and joyful. The Ilvaris children were playing by the lake, practicing their skills running faster than the wind. One small giant approached him curious and touched his hand gently. He smiled, realizing that this world, though alien, held warmth he had not felt in years. As Elias began to explore further with the giants, he discovered they had technology beyond human understanding. Floating gardens, clean energy drawn from crystal formations, and communication devices that connected minds across miles. Yet despite their advancements, they yearned to learn from him. They respected humanity's ingenuity and resilience. Over time, Elias taught them human problem-solving, storytelling, and creativity. In return, he learned patience, harmony, and a new way to see the universe. Though he remained the last of his kind, he was no longer alone. He had found a tribe that welcomed him fully, not as a servant or subject, but as a partner, a teacher, and a friend. The story of his arrival spread quickly among the Ilvaris. They marveled at his determination, his courage, and the simple acts of kindness that defined humanity. Elias began to understand the Queen's words. Even one human could carry the essence of a species, inspiring growth and wonder in ways impossible to predict. But beneath the calm and beauty, Elias sensed that the galaxy was not entirely safe. Strange signals pulsed from beyond the mountains, warnings of forces that did not welcome outsiders. Though he had found a sanctuary, he knew his journey was only beginning. To protect the Ilvaris and honor humanity's legacy, he would need to learn quickly, act wisely, and inspire courage in those who towered above him. For now, though, he allowed himself a moment of peace. Humanity's last hope had arrived, and the giants were ready to walk beside him. Together, they would face whatever the stars held, and perhaps in time, ensure that the spirit of humans would not fade into the dark void of space. And so, in the Valley of the Giants under skies of crystal light, Elias Ford began a new chapter, not as a lost wanderer, but as a bridge between worlds. The adventure was only beginning, but for the first time in decades, hope felt real. The morning sun stretched across the strange valley, casting long golden shadows over the towering trees and wide flowing rivers. Aaron, the lone human, woke to the soft hum of life around him. The giants of the tribe were already moving, their large, graceful forms weaving through the forest with ease. To Aaron, each of them seemed more like living mountains than women, but there was kindness in their eyes and intelligence in every gesture. Yesterday had been strange, almost magical. They had welcomed him despite his small size, offering food and shelter without a word of mistrust. Yet, Aaron knew he had to prove himself, for he was not part of their world. As he ate his simple breakfast of fruits and roots, he remembered the elders' words, "You carry the spark of our hope. You must understand us, and we must understand you." It was not only a test of courage, it was a test of trust. Aaron's first task came quickly. One of the younger giants, named Lyra, approached him with a bundle of luminous vines. "Help us gather the bright vines," she said in a voice that rumbled softly like distant thunder. He nodded, unsure what he could do with his small hands, but determination burned in him. The forest was alive with wonders. Flowers the size of tents opened in slow, hypnotic patterns. Birds with feathers like glass sang songs that made the air shimmer. Aaron struggled to climb the low branches to reach the vines. He fell more than once, scraping his hands and knees, but the giants cheered quietly, not mocking him. Their encouragement was like sunlight lifting his spirits. Finally, with a last stretch, he secured a bundle and handed it to Lyra. She smiled, a rare and radiant sight, and Aaron felt a warmth of belonging he had never known before. However, the harmony of the morning was broken by a sudden tremor. The ground shook violently, making the giants stumble. Trees swayed dangerously, and a low, resonating roar echoed through the valley. Aaron froze, fear gripping him. Lyra grabbed his arm gently, pulling him toward the cliffs above the river. From their vantage point, he saw it. A massive shadow moving through the forest, creatures unlike anything he had seen. They were enormous, dark, and fast, hunting anything in their path. The tribe's leader, a giant named Thalira, barked orders, and the tribe responded with astonishing precision, creating barriers and using the natural terrain to slow the beasts. Aaron realized this was no ordinary threat. These creatures were intelligent, coordinated, and dangerous, but the giants were fearless, working together with a strategy that left him awestruck. He wanted to help, but he was small and weak. Panic flared, but then he remembered the elders' words about trust and courage. He could not just stand by. He noticed a narrow passage along the riverbank, too small for the giants but perfect for him. Without thinking, he sprinted toward it, carrying a bundle of bright vines. The creatures approached, and Aaron lured them into the path where the vine's natural glow seemed to confuse them. One of the giants whispered, "Your spark, human. Use it." With quick thinking, Aaron set a small trap. He tied vines between rocks and the trees in a complex pattern, creating a net that could slow the creatures if they ran into it. The plan worked. One of the beasts got tangled, roaring in confusion, and the giants quickly subdued it with minimal effort. Aaron's heart pounded. He had faced fear, and with it he had contributed to their defense. The tribe gathered around him, their eyes filled with pride. That evening, around a great fire that could fit 3 humans in its flame, the giants shared stories of their ancestors. Thalira spoke of a prophecy. A small being from another world would come to help them survive their greatest challenge. Aaron's presence had felt extraordinary to him, but to the giants he was more than extraordinary. He was hope. As the night deepened, Aaron lay on a soft bed of moss, thinking about what he had learned. He was small, fragile, and human, yet his mind, courage, and quick thinking had made a difference. For the first time he understood what the elders meant. Humanity had something special, a spark that no size or strength could replace. But Aaron also knew the threat was not gone. The creatures would return, smarter and stronger, and he realized that to survive in this world he needed to learn more, not just about the giants but about the land, the creatures, and the hidden dangers of this strange planet. It would not be easy, but he felt ready. The next morning the giants gathered in the open plains for training. Aaron was placed in the center, small and seemingly vulnerable, but he was given a new task, to coordinate the traps and defenses using his knowledge and ingenuity. The giants taught him to communicate in their subtle gestures, the rise and fall of their voices, and even the patterns of their footsteps. Slowly, Aaron began to understand not only their language but their logic. Weeks passed, and the human became a bridge between worlds. He climbed cliffs, mapped the forests, and devised systems to protect the tribe. He still struggled physically, often falling and failing, but the giants admired his persistence. They began to see in him not just a helper, but a part of their family. One day, during a routine scouting, Aaron discovered an ancient structure partially buried in the cliffs. Strange symbols were etched into the stones, glowing faintly in the sunlight. The giants gathered around, amazed at his find. Thalira explained that these ruins held knowledge of survival, technology, and secrets of the planet lost to time. If they could unlock it, the tribe would be stronger than ever, and Aaron's presence might be the key. That night, as the stars stretched over the alien horizon, Aaron felt something he had never felt on Earth. Purpose. He was not just surviving. He was helping a civilization thrive. The giants were teaching him courage, strategy, and unity, while he brought innovation, adaptability, and the spark of human determination. Together, they were stronger than either could be alone. In the quiet moments before sleep, Aaron whispered to the night, "I will not fail them." And the giants, sleeping around him like protective mountains, seemed to hear, as if the land itself responded to his promise. Part 2 ended with a sense of tension and hope. The creatures had been delayed but not defeated. The ancient ruins awaited exploration, and Aaron was no longer just a lost human. He was a key part of the tribe's future. The morning sun spilled over the cliffs, illuminating the stone ruins Aaron had discovered. The giants gathered at the base, their tall shadows stretching across the jagged rocks. Thalira, the tribe's leader, regarded the ruins with a mixture of awe and caution. "These stones remember," she said softly. "Long before we walked this land, others came here. Perhaps they hold wisdom we have lost." Aaron's heart raced. He had never seen anything like this. The ruins were enormous, built from massive stone blocks carved with symbols that glowed faintly, almost as if the stones were alive. He traced the markings with his small hands, trying to decipher their meaning. To the giants, he explained his ideas slowly, showing patterns he noticed, some symbols repeated, some connected with lines etched deep into the rocks. "It is a map," Aaron whispered, excitement rising in his chest. "A map, and maybe a guide." The giants leaned closer, their giant faces full of wonder. Thalira nodded. "Then we must follow it carefully. This place is sacred. Our ancestors may have hidden great knowledge here, and we must honor it." The first step was to enter the ruins. A wide archway opened into darkness, the air cool and damp. Aaron felt fear, but he also felt determination. "I will go first," he said, gripping a thick vine like a rope. The giants protested gently, worried for his safety, but Aaron insisted. His small size was actually an advantage here. He could move through narrow passages where even the giants could not fit. As he entered, the glow from the symbols on the walls illuminated the way. The corridors twisted and turned like a labyrinth, but Aaron's mind worked quickly, connecting the patterns he had seen outside with the paths inside. After careful observation, he found a chamber filled with strange devices, carved from the same glowing stone. Some resembled levers, others like flat panels covered in more symbols. The giants arrived behind him, crowding around the entrance. "What are they?" one asked, awe in her voice. "I think these are machines," Aaron said, examining the panels. "Not machines like on Earth, but devices that use energy from the planet itself." He pressed a symbol lightly, and a beam of light shot across the chamber, illuminating hidden engravings on the walls. The light revealed scenes, giants in harmony with other creatures, humans appearing among them, and devices that seemed to move objects without hands. The tribe gasped. Thalira stepped forward. "Our ancestors? They were not alone. They worked with other beings. Perhaps that is why we survived here while others did not." Aaron realized this was more than a history lesson. The ruins could help the tribe defend themselves, build and survive like never before, but understanding it would take time. He spent hours studying the patterns, drawing diagrams in the dirt with a stick. He tried different combinations on the devices, careful not to break anything. Suddenly, one of the panels activated fully, projecting a holographic map of the valley and surrounding lands. Aaron's eyes widened. "These creatures, the ones that attacked us, they are not random. They are moving in patterns toward resources. If we can use this map, we can predict them." The giants exchanged glances, realizing the opportunity. With Aaron's help, they could defend their land efficiently. The human was small, but his mind gave them insight no giant could have. As the days passed, Aaron taught the giants to understand the ruins' devices. Together, they devised a system of early warnings, barriers, and clever traps. The humans' ingenuity blended with the giants' strength and speed, making the tribe nearly unstoppable. Every challenge the creatures threw at them was met with planning, teamwork, and courage. But the ruins had more secrets. One evening, Aaron discovered a chamber deeper than any they had entered. Here the symbols glowed brighter, pulsing gently like a heartbeat. He traced the carvings and realized they depicted an energy source, a way to amplify the giants' natural abilities, making them stronger, faster, and more aware. He ran back to Thalira. "If we can unlock this, it could protect the tribe for generations. But I need your help." "I cannot do this alone," Thalira nodded solemnly. "Then we will do it together. Our strength, your mind, together we are more than the sum of our parts." The ritual to unlock the energy source was not easy. The giants had to position enormous stones in precise patterns, while Aaron adjusted the devices inside the chamber. Mistakes were costly, A wrong placement caused the light to dim, threatening to collapse part of the ruins. But Aaron's careful guidance and the giant's tireless effort paid off. Slowly, the chamber came alive, humming with a soft, powerful energy. When the ritual finished, the chamber glowed with a golden light. The giants could feel it in their muscles, their minds, and their senses. Even Aaron felt a warmth, a connection to the planet and its life. They were stronger, not just physically, but as a community. And in that moment, the tribe realized something extraordinary. Humanity's spark, Aaron's courage, logic, and creativity, had unlocked the full potential of their civilization. Celebration followed. The giants danced under the light of the chamber, and Aaron laughed, feeling for the first time that he truly belonged. He had started as a small, lost human, but now he was a hero in their eyes, a bridge between worlds, a symbol of hope and ingenuity. But the joy was not complete. The creatures that had attacked before were not gone. They had retreated, but intelligence guided them. And now, with the tribe stronger and the ruins activated, Aaron knew the next challenge would test every lesson he had learned. They would have to defend their land, not just with strength, but with strategy, courage, and unity. As night fell, Aaron looked at the stars and wondered about Earth. He missed his home, but he knew he could never return, not fully. Here, on this alien world, he had found purpose, friendship, and a place to leave a legacy. Humanity, in all its smallness, had proven it could shine even in a world of giants. He whispered quietly to the night, "We are ready. Whatever comes next, we will face it together." And as the wind moved through the valley, carrying the soft sounds of the giants' laughter and the quiet hum of the ruins, Aaron felt something incredible. He was no longer just a hum. The valley was quiet, but tension hung in the air like a heavy fog. Aaron stood at the edge of the cliffs looking down at the forest below. The creatures had returned, larger in number and more cunning than before. Their shadows slithered between the trees, eyes glinting in the early morning light. The tribe of giants was ready, moving with precision and calm, but even they felt the weight of what was coming. Aaron checked the traps one last time. Every vine, every stone barrier, every signaling device was in place. His small hands had prepared them, his mind had designed them, but now it would take the giant's strength and courage to make it work. He took a deep breath, feeling fear and excitement together. Fear was natural, he reminded himself, but courage, strategy, and hope were stronger. Thalira approached, her immense form towering over him, but her smile gentle. "You have done more than we could imagine, Aaron. Your spark has guided us. Now we fight as one." Aaron nodded. "We fight together. Not just me. Not just you. Everyone." The giants around them roared softly in agreement, a sound like distant thunder shaking the valley. The first wave of creatures emerged from the forest. They moved in coordinated packs, circling, testing the defenses. But Aaron's traps worked perfectly. Nets and vines slowed their advance, and the glowing stones from the ruins created blinding light patterns that confused the attackers. The giants moved like living mountains, intercepting the creatures and pushing them back with immense strength and speed. Aaron ran along the outer lines, guiding the giants where they were needed most. One small mistake could cost them dearly, but he relied on his knowledge of the terrain, the ruins, and the creatures' patterns. His heart pounded, but he never hesitated. The human mind, so fragile and small in comparison to the giants, was proving decisive. Hours passed. The creatures adapted, trying to flank and strike from unexpected angles. But the humans' innovations and the giants' instincts kept the tribe ahead. Aaron realized they needed one final move, a strategy that would ensure victory without unnecessary risk. He climbed a high ridge, leading to the heart of the valley. From there, he could see every movement. Using the energy from the ruins, he activated a series of glowing panels in a pattern he had practiced. The stones pulsed with light, forming a barrier of energy that shimmered across the valley. The creatures charged, but as they entered the light, they froze, disoriented by the energy and the patterns. The giants seized the moment, moving swiftly to subdue the attackers. It was a masterful display of coordination. The creatures, though fierce and strong, could not overcome the combined intelligence and strength of the human and giants. By nightfall, the valley was silent again, the forest echoing only with the sounds of celebration. The tribe gathered around the glowing ruins, their eyes reflecting pride and gratitude. Thalira stepped forward, placing a massive hand gently on Arin's shoulder. You have done what none of us could alone. Your courage, your mind, your determination. It has saved us all. Arin felt a warmth in his chest, a feeling he had never known on Earth. I only did what I could, he said softly. You trusted me. You taught me. We did this together. Lyra, the young giant who had first guided him to the bright vines, smiled. You are small, but your heart and mind are enormous. Without you, we would not be here. Arin smiled back, realizing that size did not matter. Humanity's true strength was in spirit, creativity, and unity. As the night deepened, the giants celebrated their survival. Fires lit the valley. Music echoed from deep voices, and laughter rose high into the sky. Arin watched, feeling a sense of belonging he had never imagined. He was no longer a lost human in a strange world. He was a hero, a teacher, and a friend. But the story did not end with victory alone. The ruins had more knowledge to offer. Arin continued to explore, learning from the symbols and devices, unlocking technologies that could benefit the tribe for generations. Together they built new homes, tools, and defenses. The valley thrived like never before, and the giants began to see that the human spark, the creativity, courage, and adaptability was an essential part of their future. One day, Arin stood on a cliff with Thalira, overlooking the forest. Do you think there are more like us, he asked? More humans or creatures waiting for a chance to join to help? Thalira's eyes softened. Perhaps. The universe is vast and life is never simple. But whatever comes, we are ready. We have learned that strength is not just in size or power. It is in heart, mind, and the courage to act. Arin nodded, feeling a quiet pride. Humanity had arrived in this world not by force but by ingenuity, compassion, and courage. And the giants had embraced it fully, proving that cooperation across differences could achieve wonders. The stars shone above, brighter than on Earth, casting silver light across the valley. Arin looked at them and thought of home, but he knew he had found a new home here. One where his spirit mattered, where his ideas could flourish, and where humanity could leave a legacy that even the tallest giants could see. In the days that followed, the valley continued to flourish. Children of the giants learned from Arin, taught not only the tribe's ways but also the small human wisdom that had saved them. The creatures never returned in large numbers, deterred by the combination of human ingenuity and giant strength, and the ruins became a place of learning, a symbol of unity between worlds. Arin often wandered through the forest, marveling at its beauty. He watched the giants laugh, train, and teach one another. He noticed how the bright vines glowed more vibrantly, how the stones hummed softly, and how the valley seemed to breathe with life. Everything felt alive, connected, and full of purpose. At night he sat beneath the stars reflecting on the journey. He had been a lost human, small and fragile, but he had found courage he did not know he possessed. He had discovered that humanity's greatest power was not in strength or technology alone, but in creativity, perseverance, and the ability to inspire and unite. The giants gathered around him, silent but present, sharing the calm of the night. Together they watched the stars and the glowing ruins, knowing that whatever the future held, they were ready. Humans and giants, small and tall, clever and strong. United, they had created a legacy that would endure for generations. Arin whispered softly to the wind, "This is only the beginning. Together we can face anything." And for the first time in a long while, he felt completely at peace. The valley slept under the watchful glow of the ancient ruins, alive with stories of courage, unity, and the extraordinary bond between a human and a tribe of giants. And humanity, in its quiet brilliance, had proven once again that even the smallest spark could light a world.